A very good warm welcome to you all. So we're lucky to have Eric with us tonight and Alan. And we've only got 4 boards to look at, but we'll have a little bit of a discussion about board 4 because there are numerous ways of playing that. We'll see that when we get to it. The very first board that you played this evening is on your screen, and the contract was going to be 4 hearts by East after North had opened 1 diamond. So we will give you the auction. So it goes 1 diamond, 1 heart overcall. I need to mute everybody. Bear with me a second. I'll do that in a second. 1 heart pass, 3 hearts, pass, 4 hearts. Let's see if I can mute everybody, participants. Mute all. So if Alan and Eric want to come in with anything, then they're welcome to do so. Okay. Pass, pass, pass. Now, I wasn't able to watch all the tables, but at least 2 of the tables, Declarer was let off the hook because they didn't get the play right, but neither did the defence. We get the lead of the low diamond. North wins with the king. And we're told probably switches to the 3 of clubs. Now, what do we think about that 3 of clubs? Well, it's going to be a singleton, isn't it? Right, so if we do what appears to be natural, we win the club in either hand, it doesn't matter, and play trumps. Well, let's see what would happen. Let's say that we win this in the east hand. We play a trump. North, being a very clever sort of fellow, you can see who's playing North at the moment. He realises that his partner led a little diamond. He had the ace, king, 10 and the jack is in dummy. So either that was a singleton or he's got an honour. And having told his partner he wants to ruff a club, he now plays a little diamond. Partner's queen. And back comes the club. And that's probably gone 1 off. So what, if anything, could Declarer do about that? Let's go back a couple of tricks. As we said, at least 1 North cashed the ace of diamonds. From that point on, they couldn't put partner in to get the ruff, and Declarer still made it. So back to here, we wait for all these yellow line boxes to disappear. So we've just won the ace of clubs. And I'm sure you will all have heard of this play, although you may not have seen it in action. What we need to do is to disrupt the communication between North and South so that South can't get the lead to give North the ruff. Now, South's only entry is the Queen of Diamonds, and that's fairly obvious both from the play and from the dealing. So what we're going to hope for is that North has got the Queen Jack of Spades, and that we're going to play 3 rounds of spades, discarding the diamond. And then they've made a spade trick, but all they've done, they've made a spade trick instead of a diamond trick. The difference is North is going to make the spade trick and South is never going to get the lead. So before we touch the trumps, and I know Blue spotted this straight away because he told me. At least he tried to tell Pat afterwards. Now a second spade. Over it, he doesn't really want that pen to be run. And now, of course, if South has got the Queen of Spades, then we're going off because he's going to get the lead and he's still going to give his partner the ruff. But South hasn't. Away goes the diamond. Now North can't put partner in to get that ruff. So whatever he plays next, all he's going to make now is the ace of hearts. This is known as the scissors coup. We're cutting, using the scissors to cut the communication between the two opposition so they can't get the ruff that they were aiming for. I'm sure you'll have heard the term, even if you haven't come across it before. I'm not sure how many made it or how many went off, but that's how we play board one. Do we have any questions or comments? Eric, Alan, very welcome.
I have a comment. I've looked at the.
Go ahead. Yeah.
One of them just brilliant. Got it absolutely right. That was Pelican Sean defending, I think. Because Glynis failed to cut communication. Nobody cut communication. Somebody called NPC billed himself as advanced, but so advanced he totally ignored the instructions to lead a club at trick 2, after which it was rather hard for him to go and take the ruff. The others, indeed, led the club, and then, knowing they needed 4 tricks, cashed the diamond to make sure they could never get partner into 34. You should think, guys, I need 4 tricks. How do I get 4? Don't just cash a winner and hope the weather stays fine. Work out how to get 4 tricks to go and set a 4 heart card.
Very, very, very useful comments, Alan. Thank you. If we have any other columns here, Pat says light bulb moment. She saw it too late. Yes. Okay. Any other comments or questions on board 1? Okay, we will move on to board 2. He says, hopefully. Board 2, here it comes. To the table. And this again is a competitive auction, so we'll give you the auction. He starts off with a strong no trump. Pass. Pass. A rather bold 2 hearts at the vulnerability. I can't help feeling, but that's what we're given. 2 hearts. Double. Short in hearts, want to compete partner. 3 hearts from south. I think you must have a 6-card suit partner. Pass, pass, pass. Now I will hold my hand up and say that when this was given to me as a problem by Alan, I got it wrong. Right, but I do get things wrong sometimes, you know, Alan will tell you. So it's not that obvious. At least it wasn't obvious to me. It's obvious once you see it. But let's have a look at it.
I will break in and say it was the end of a very long day for you, and you were very tired.
That's very true, but I'm still.
Even so, okay, right,
yeah.
Okay.
I should not have got it wrong, but I did. And you know, my regular partners will tell you I do get things wrong. I think I told you last time, you know, I got things wrong 1962, a Tuesday, but lost the cat and so on. Right, anyway, the lead that we're getting, we're told, is the ace of spades. And it doesn't really matter what methods, but we'll assume that they're playing low to encourage, because that's what I do. Either way, we're going to play a 3rd round of spades. And we're going to ruff this one. And that's as much as we can do at the moment. Well, we couldn't do anything about that, so we'll think about it a bit more now. What have we got? Well, we got the ace king of diamonds and a diamond ruff. We've got a heart loser, unless there's queen jack doubleton, which is not looking very likely, certainly possible. And we've got a club loser, and we've lost 2 tricks already. But we're already in 3, so if we limited to that, we'd be all right. So what's the danger? Well, the danger is we know who's got the queen of spades, that's West. And if West gets the lead before the trumps are drawn, he can play the queen of spades and possibly promote a trump in his partner's hand, and he still make his jack of hearts. Because don't forget, we're going to use dummy's little heart to ruff a diamond with. So we won't be able to do any finessing in hearts. So let's just think about it ahead. Let's say that we cash the ace king of diamonds and ruff a heart. Well, let's see what happens if we try and do that. Let's have a look. Now we'll ruff a diamond. Everything's going swimmingly at the moment. And we'll cash the ace of hearts. Queen jack doubleton would be nice. No, it's not. Now, if we try to get back to hand now by ruffing a spade, this is what we thought might happen. We can rough it. It gets over roughed. And as you can see, we're still going to have to lose a club, and we're going to have to lose a heart. Was there anything we could do about that? Well, we'll go back a trick or two. Let's go back to the point where we led the five of spades. Here's the point. If we cash the ace of clubs, and now play the spade, but we're not going to ruff it because that would possibly lead to a trump promotion. We're going to throw the club away instead. West has got the lead, but whatever he plays, all the opposition can make now is one heart trick. Exactly right, Joe. Yes. Well within my capabilities, but nevertheless, as I say, late at night, I was tired, but I got it wrong. You know, we do test these hands, we put them together, and then we try them out between each other, and we either think, yes, that's a good hand, or no, it's not, or no, I shouldn't have got that wrong. You can do it without playing the ace of clubs first, yes, but there's doesn't make any difference. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Joe. So now we can claim our 9 tricks. I don't know why that was so difficult for me to see on the night. It shouldn't have been, but it was. I'm blaming it on Alan for giving it to me so late in the day when he knew I was tired. That's my excuse. Do we have any other questions or comments on board 2? Not too difficult, really.
I'll tell you the results. Several people just got this wrong. 2 of them tried to actually ruff a spade, even though he's gone ace, king, 10 of spades as a lead to the jack. Yes, so it's marked that the queen of spades is where it is, and they're going to be over off on the spade. And nevertheless, even though the ace, king, and then 10 of spades with the queen jack missing is very definitive, they still went for the over off of roughing a spade. The one person who made it did follow a bona fide line, namely your line, and they led a club from the dome, not the spade, throwing a club, which of course is the 100% line, but they led a club, and now it was West who went to sleep, because you have to realize you're looking for, have I said this before? You're looking for the number of tricks to set the contract. So West should realize he's got to go in with the queen of clubs, because if North has the king of clubs they're making, and he can trump promote leading the spade. But North made a lazy duck, and now that East is in, there's no trump promotion.
West
So,
made lazy duck.
well done about a lot. But the roughing the spade was an illogical line, and got his just desserts.
It wouldn't cost, of course, if it was East that had the 3 hearts, because he was going to make a heart trick anyway, and he wouldn't make 2 of them if he started off with Queen Jack X, or even Queen to 3. The other hearts would then drop. So it costs only because East has only got 2 hearts and his partner's still going to make Jack. The principle, Bob, is loser on loser. We know we're going to lose a club, and we know we're going to lose a spade. Well, we know we're going to lose a club. We're swapping a spade loser, give them a spade rather than a club. But it's easier, it's less expensive and less risky to give them the spade, because then there's no trump promotion. But loser on loser is the technical term. We're going to lose a trick, and we're choosing which suit we're going to lose it in. That's what it boils down to.
The threat of the over rough is very clear, because
Indeed,
this lead, ace of spades, king of spades, small spade to the jack. Well, nobody's on the lead in the queen of spades here.
No.
So it's West who's got the queen of spades, and with 4 spades, and therefore three spades on the other side, it is clear you do not want somebody winning a club and then playing a spade and getting an over off. So you have to just think about the lead, and it warns you about what's likely to happen. Exactly. Unless you're tired and it's very late at night. And then
Thank you, Alan, for those few kind words. Okay. Do we have any other questions or comments on board 2? Okay, we will move on to board 3. Here comes board 3. He says. This is an unopposed auction. The auction goes 1 spade, 2 spades, 4 spades. So we'll just get West to bid 4 spades. This is after a pass from South, of course. And we get the lead of the 2 of hearts. To the ace. Okay. Now, I'm really not quite sure what the thinking was of 1 South, who promptly returned a club at this point, and Blue didn't really have much of a problem after that. He took his 5 spade tricks, and 1 heart trick is 6, and 2 clubs and 2 diamonds. That was 10, and he thought, what's the problem? Well, what do we do if a heart comes back? Because that two of hearts looks suspiciously like a singleton. Now, if we put the king on, North will ruff, and we simply cannot avoid losing 2 further heart tricks. There's no way we can avoid it. So that, but yet, maybe North has led from Queen Jack to 3, maybe from Jack to 3, something like that. In fact, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If he's led from Jack to 3, his partner won't have another one to play. There's only a danger, really, if North has got a singleton and has led it. And we can circumvent that by not playing the king, but simply by playing a small one. No need to North to ruff it. Look at the position now. If South plays yet another heart, he loses his heart trick. West will not put the king on unless the Jack is led. North will be ruffing a loser, and Declarer will still have the 10 tricks that he started with: 5 spades, 1 heart, and 2 clubs and 2 diamonds. So this really wasn't too difficult if you read the situation or what the situation might be. North led the 2, so he's either got 3 or he's got 1. If he's got 3, then doesn't matter. He'll win the second one if you play low, and play a third one, which South can ruff, but you've still got 10 tricks. You still preserve your king of hearts. Yeah, go on, Alan. I thought you were going to say something, no?
Well, I was muted. I don't know how you knew.
Oh.
Oh, was it Eric?
Well, I will just comment on. I was actually trying to work out who played so well. Well done to Wile E. Coyote, except he was too subtle. He played but the 9 of hearts, and I think that it just made it just too tempting to run it around to the 10. So it was Imp Tiger, I think it was West, saying, well, they just docked it. But how much it helped to see a 9, I don't know. It's real congratulations to John, because he switched to what I would have done, the Jack of so the Jack of Hearts is high enough that you're playing an honor, and it's low enough to really fool declare that there's Queen to 3 on the other side of the table. And sure enough,
did it matter? Yeah.
no, it doesn't matter. But nevertheless, it's the one that will help send you to sleep. So I thought John does deserve congratulations. I thought it was not the. I mean, the Queen does the job, but the Jack is just a bit more helpful for declarer to go wrong. So I thought that was an excellent play. So well done, John.
Yeah, well done, well done. Okay, but the principle, if you just stop and work out what the heart positions could be, then you can see there's no need to put the king on at trick 2. And if it is a singleton, putting the king on is fatal. And if you don't put the king on, you're home and dry, regardless of how the hearts are breaking. Subtle. I don't think Wile E. Coyote's ever been accused of being subtle before, but you live and learn. All right, Joe. Okay. Do we have any other questions or comments on board 3?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to talk about the Jack of Hearts return as well. That's what I was thinking. I mean, at match points, it's very clever because now, if you duck, it might overtake it with the Queen and give his partner a ruff. And you lose 3 heart tricks in that situation. Whereas obviously,
I got to tell you, Joe, if I saw the 9 of hearts, I'd say, so West is underled Queen Jack small against this suit contract. What an odd character. Yeah. I will rise with my king and drop his Queen or Jack overstate. No, I wouldn't.
Right, we can't actually change the cards, Bob, because Bob is asking if he could see it. But we'll go back a trick or 2. Right, so there's the first trick. Things going slowly. I hope BBO is not suffering. Right, and we will assume that the Jack comes back. Okay, because we think that that's the cleverish thing that South can do to try and misdirect declarer. But nevertheless, he just needs to stop and think, how could the hearts be divided? All right, so North could have led from 3 to the Queen. So if he ducks this one, well, the Jack will win, but then the Queen will fall under the King if South has got one to play, which he won't have. And if he doesn't, whatever he plays, we'll win, and we've still got the King of Hearts. The only thing that can stop you making this contract is if you go up with the King of Hearts and it gets ruffed. If you don't go up with it, you can only lose 3 tricks. You either lose 2 hearts on a ruff, or you lose 3 hearts, but you can't lose anything else. Okay, Bob? Okay, you see it now. Okay, we'll claim our 10 tricks. There we go. Now, we have only got 4 hands for you tonight, but I'm going to put up board 4. Now, I'll tell you straight away that the board 4 that you're going to see now is not actually the board 4 that you played. But controversial. Yeah, it's because there are different ways of playing this hand, and we want to go through the different ways. So this is one possibility. The North and South hands are going to be exactly the same, but we're going to just swap around the other hands a little bit. Okay. And this started off with the old-fashioned bidding of strong 2 spades and a 2 no trumps, waiting or negative, call it what you like, and then South bids 4 spades. It's not my ideal way of bidding it, and it wouldn't be Alan's, I'm sure, but nevertheless, that's the contract that South finishes up in. So the 4 spades. Oh, no, not
You played it by the wrong hand.
yeah, I know. I'm going to
Yeah, okay.
do it. Sorry, I need to pass this first. Just testing, just seeing if you're awake.
Only just, but yes.
4 spades.
Because you only played 4 hands, I'm awake at this stage.
Okay, okay. Right. And what lead do we get? Well, we get the lead of the Jack of Diamonds, which is fairly obvious once he leads it. And doesn't matter what we play from dummy. And if that is a singleton, it's not going to help us not to cover the diamond, you know, because we don't have anything else. We don't have the 10 in dummy like we did on the previous hand. So we're going to put the king on and it's going to get ruffed. Now, what's the safest return for West to make at this point? Well, for me, I think it would be a heart. I don't think we can give anything away that we wouldn't be giving away ordinarily. So we'll play a heart at this point. Now, we've lost 2 tricks and we still have 2 diamond tricks. If only we could get to dummy's second club trick. Well, how can we do that? Well, we would need West to have at least 3 hearts, or exactly 3 hearts, and the Queen of Clubs, because we're going to play the spades first. Let's play a couple of rounds of spades because that's going to give us some information. So what do we know about the West hand now? Well, we know that West started off with 4 spades and a singleton diamond and a heart suit headed by the 9. That means his partner's probably got the Jack. And if he's got the Queen of Clubs as well, well, then we can actually throw him in. Can we not? With either with a club, so that he has to play a club back to dummy, or we could in fact throw him in with the 3rd spade if we cash the hearts first and the King of Clubs. So we could do this. This is one line that we could play. Now he's got 1 trump left. Now we hope we've exhausted him of hearts. You're going to cash a club. No, we're not going to play another trump yet, Joe. But now we're going to play little trump. That's one way we could play it, because now West has got to pull the trump and Jack of Clubs and throw a diamond, so you don't get the heart ruff. Well, all I'm saying is that is one possibility. We'll go back to what Joe is suggesting. Let's have a look. So Joe is saying we pull the last trump before we cash the set. Gotta wait for these yellow boxes to disappear. Let's draw the last trump. Now we can cash the King of Hearts. Hopefully that will be his last heart. And we can overtake the club. Play a club, and as long as it's West that has the Queen of Clubs and the remaining clubs now, of course, he has to play a club back to dummy, and we will make it that way as well. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Joe. That would also work. Okay, so that's one or maybe two lines of play that we could do. All right, but I'm going to put the hand up again now. So let's claim that as making for the minute. And now we're going to slightly different version. Let's go to the table. Why not? There we go. Okay. And the lead's the same, exactly the same. We need to set the contract again, don't we? Pass. Spades. He's a jack of diamonds again. Buffed. Now, we're going to try what we did before, okay? We're going to play 2 rounds of trumps. We're going to keep this. Our line is what we did on the when I showed you the hand before, but this is going to be different. Let's have a look why. He's going to play a heart at this point. Now we play 2 rounds of trumps. Get the bad news again. We're proceeding as if we were going to play it the first time we played it. But now when we cash the ace of hearts, jack appears. So let's do a little bit of assuming that that jack is an accurate card, and I think it probably must be, then that means that West started off with 4 spades and 1 diamond and 5 hearts, and therefore only 3 clubs. But we still do have a throw-in. What we're going to make him play back? You know, if we play the king, he'll have a heart to exit with. If we draw the trump first, and then we throw him in with the club, he'll exit with a heart. Let's have a look. So cash the king of hearts. Now we overtake the club. It doesn't do us any good. Set up a club trick in dummy, but he's not going to play a club back. He's going to play a heart, and we will still finish up losing a diamond. So that is not going to work. But nevertheless, there is still an end play there. Anybody spot what we could have done? This is what we could do. Okay, so we'll wait for the yellow boxes to disappear again. Right, we've drawn the trumps. We're going to cash the king of clubs just the same and overtake it. And now we play another club. What do we discard? Whoops. Wants to take that queen, doesn't he? But now he can't help but put us in dummy. So this time we've discarded the king of hearts because the jack fell, and we know that West has only got hearts and clubs left. He's got to give the lead back to dummy. But there is a flaw in that line. And let's claim it and look at the full hand, and we'll appreciate what the problem is. If we've counted this correctly, West has got 3 clubs and East has got 6. So we would have thought it's far more likely that East would have the queen of clubs. He's got twice as many clubs, he's twice as likely, more or less, to have the queen of clubs. So although that line would work as the cards lie, we're now going to show you the last version. Here we go. Again, we're going to get 3 passes. On 4 spades. And go through this procedure again, to the diamond, to the ace. In the diamonds back, looks ominous, and quite right it is. Up to the 9 of hearts. And we're still going to follow the same line as we followed to start with. We're going to draw these 2 trumps, keeping our options open to ever play West with a spade or a club. Well, cash the heart just the same. And just the same as before, the jack drops. But we noticed when we played the hand the second time, we were only successful if West had the queen of clubs. But we should know by now that West has got only 3 clubs because he had 5 hearts and 4 spades and 1 diamond. And East has got 6 clubs. So who's more likely to have the queen of clubs? Well, the answer is very clearly East. And if we think about that long enough, East has got to have control of the clubs and the diamonds. So what we can actually do is come down to this ending of the trump. This is assuming now that it's East that's got the queen of clubs. Heart away. Diamond away. And we can throw another diamond away. And what is East to throw? If he throws the queen of clubs, and we can overtake the king with the ace, and all club tricks in dummy are good. So he's got to hang on to those clubs. But if he throws a diamond, well, we have a very elegant position now. You know, we have what we call a stepping stone squeeze. One thing we could do is just give him the diamond, and then he's got to play it back, and our other diamond would be good. But the more elegant way is to do this. Called a stepping stone squeeze, where you're using East as a means of getting to dummy. he had to hang on to the clubs, otherwise they were going to be good. But now he's only got the one diamond left, and he has to give us the last trick to dummy. So I think Alan and I both think that the last line that we've just shown you is the preferred line of play, which gives us the most chance. If the Jack of Hearts drops, as it would have done in the hand that you actually played, then East is far more likely to have the Queen of Clubs than West. Yeah. Okay, there you go, Sanya. I think Alan worked a lot more on that hand than I did, but he came up with the variations. He started off with a basic hand, and he thought, "Oh, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do that," and it's all made for a very interesting hand and a very
That wasn't
problem.
quite what happened.
Oh, go ahead.
Actually, it was the middle hand you did with the clever discard of the King of Hearts.
Okay.
Right. So I copied this out of a book, and now I'm trying to set it up. And I thought, well, I wouldn't play it that way. There's 6 clubs on it, and he's going to play West for Queen. And I thought, surely the Queen should be in the other hand. I thought, I wonder if you can make it if it is. I thought, yes, because if you can't, so I thought, wow. So I actually put, first of all, I thought it's worthwhile just do the first one to show you should be thinking of trying to get a throw in, delaying taking the King of Clubs to then try some sort of clever play of maybe throwing somebody with a diamond to get a lead, and then I realized that when the Jack of Hearts dropped, it really telegraphed what you should do. So I put in the middle hand, which is what Shinewell did with no explanation. He just said, "Isn't it obvious? You just throw the King of Hearts away." And I thought, no, it's not obvious. So I went and put the third hand in with the Queen of Clubs, where 2 to 1 is likely to be. I have looked at the hands, and sadly, nobody tried the throw in or the squeeze, really. The people who made the contract, well, one of them, although partner led the Jack of Diamonds, and that person had the Queen 10-9 of Diamonds, it still never occurred to that person that there might be a ruff. So they switched to, and after that, with no ruff, you are just screaming home in the contract. The other one was somebody thought, well, if I overtake the King of Hearts and leave the Jack, maybe East won't or West won't cover. And well, I can't say they were absolutely right. The East hand saw no reason to take their winners. They apparently winning bridge is to just dock these tricks and let the opponents take tricks. And I don't follow that philosophy myself. I like to beat cards and try and take.
Can you mute yourself, please? Apart from Alan, etc. Okay.
So, but the others, they all tried, like Painter, and then, but other people did mainly cover the Jack of Clubs, and it was a tragedy after that. Okay, I'm done here, Colin.
Okay, well, Tanya's asking everybody, are you happy with this shorter session? Glynis says she likes it, and it's a lot easier for us because we spend a lot of time preparing hands and going through the different plays. Alan probably spends more time than I do. Pat says she likes it, the shorter session, and yeah, you vote for it as well, Joe. Thank you. And so does Marge. So there's quite a few people are very happy with 4 boards. Okay, well, if Alan's happy, I'm happy to carry on Monday night with 4 boards rather than 8, and we will still try to make them interesting. Okay. Bob would prefer just one technique. Well, and Bob, if you think these are too hard for you or too advanced for you, then study the hand and go through the play. Try and fix it in your mind what we're trying to do, because that's the way you learn these techniques. Because believe me, I don't know if you have ever pulled off a squeeze intentionally, but the very first time I did that, and I'd studied all the books and I'd read Card Play Technique by Mollo and Gardner, and but the first time I pulled off a squeeze, meaning to do it, I got such a buzz. I was telling everybody about it. Did you squeeze on board 9? And if you learn it and actually execute it, you realise just what this game is all about and how much mental satisfaction you can get out of it. Okay, that's my little step. I hope to maybe see you tomorrow. I won't be around till about 9 o'clock, but Alan will be here from 8 o'clock onwards. I'm no doubt ably assisted by Caroline and possibly Sandra as well. So, but we will be here again next week. I think Alan will be here next week with 4 more boards for you. And yeah, and tomorrow night, the random hands, they've not been fixed, there's no theme. You play them with people sitting at the table, they play the hand, and Alan will comment on them afterwards, probably more about the play than about the bidding, because some of the bidding may tend to be a bit mixed. But he will say the same as I do. On every hand, there will be something, some nuance, some little piece of information that you haven't ingested, you know. So that'll be for an hour, okay, with Alan. If there are people still interested, I will probably be here about 9 o'clock. And if people want to carry on, I will take over from Alan at 9 o'clock. We've got to work out the mechanics of actually doing that.